Hey everybody and welcome back to Nightbringers Watch. I'm your host Falk, and tonight we're continuing our visit of the patients here in the Pembroke Hospital. Last time we've gone from the docks where we come with Dr. Swansea together too, and we met some nurses, a doctor, driver, how was it called, and some patients. And there are lots and lots of people in this part of the town, in the Pembroke Hospital. Okay, so and we got a quest from Milton here in the backyard of the Pembroke Hospital. Do not cough in public. Prevent disease. Careless spitting, sneezing, coughing spread influenza. Spread by droplets sprayed from nose and throat. Do not cough in public. Yeah, wear your masks. Okay, what do we have here? There's just a reception desk. Here are some more patients lying around. We saw some more people in here, right? Oh, so who are you? Another doctor, I assume.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's talk about your life in London. Tell me about
Please
yourself.
tell me something about yourself.
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
Yeah.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
Quite a fanboy here. Huh.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
So tell me about your
I based my
experiments.
technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Could be true.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Mm-hmm. Do you need my
Do you need
help?
help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Okay, a new investigation.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Oh boy. Okay, can we ask some personal questions there?
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Okay, Harvey Fiddick.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
I could agree with this doctor. I think some doctors are quite just rotating machines that have no time for patients due to the system. Okay, that may be true. But time for some patience and learning about the background may be sometimes helpful to what was it said? To help treat the patient. Okay, so we have the life and non and the
Goodbye,
personal
Dr.
questions. And we got a new investigation. So back here's nothing, but there are some more patients and doctors. This is Crane. Here's someone unknown.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swans's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
He's the one Dr. Strickland told us about, right? The one who's treating their patients like bags of flesh, bone and blood. So let's start with your life in London.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Oh boy.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Oh, that here is hard. Is the rivalry binding you? Why do you wish to lead this surgery? Let's first go with this.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Okay, so pure professional here. Let's talk
Since
about
your
the temporary
tenure in this
hospital.
hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
This one's a bit stuck in the past, I think. Not always a good sign for a good doctor, I'd say. Okay, we can ask 2 personal questions. I have proved my value as a
I
practitioner.
don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
I don't want to take this action here. It is something that could be understood wrong. Let's go with this one.
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon, and it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative, it is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reed.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least
True.
agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Okay,
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
not that I want to talk to you again, Dr. Ackroyd. Just... Pippa? No, it's the... crane? Ah, here's the, Oh, it's shiny. Glass vials. This is the patient. With those both doctors who are talking about, right?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Okay.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
A family man.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Okay. True enough. So let's ask some personal questions here. Only one we could ask.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Hey, we got a new hint.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Oh boy. That is quite hard.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
What are bleeders?
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Yeah, for sure.
Goodbye
Okay.
for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen.
But in the circumstances,
As
I'm
for
willing
me,
to give you the benefit of the
what a
doubt.
blundering idiot.
Okay, who else we can talk to? There's Dr. Willie Aykroyd, here's Nurse Crane, here are some more. Also, this one isn't a doctor, but a patient.
Good
The
evening,
one with
madam.
a
Can I help you?
strange,
My son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
strange
How
haircut.
can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Hey, the routine here. First, about the life in London.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
Where her husband had been worked at or for.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Oh,
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start.
okay.
And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
Oh, okay.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
That's what I think too. Wouldn't have thought that Pippa Hawkins would take money from patients. Are nurses bound to the Hippocratical how was it? To this oath they are swearing when they first attend their jobs. Okay, we can't ask anything here. Here are more hints required.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
So let's talk to her son, the one with the strange haircut. Oh boy.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time.
Mortimer.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Hey, let's strain the throat a bit more.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Oh boy.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Okay.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Oh boy.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Okay, some personal questions.
Tell me
Yeah,
about
this one.
yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Okay.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Not only a pessimist, but
You
Poor
always
little fellow.
give words to calm the children, Helen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
okay, you talk to you, right? Ah, it's Strickland, right? Another patient lying on the ground. There's Harvey. Let's head out here. So this is this sign here. We saw this. Where is? There's a merchant. That must be Milton. There. Okay, let's go along the street and see if we can find this place where this midnight quest seems to be. Okay, we can take our weapons out here, so we may need to fight, in short. Yes. Trash can, we can put it. Do we need to enter here? Is this the
Scowl
backyard?
voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
SKALS. SKAL are those things that this William Bishop had been, right? So there are two of them. Okay. Let's dodge and attack. Get back again. Oh. Oh boy. Okay, we got them down. We can't heal up. Do we have items to heal? I don't think so, right? We just have weapons, ingredients, ammunition. Oh, junk. And quest items. Photography in a wallet. A photography of a smiling and loving couple with a few words written on the back. Milton and Pippa forever.
So,
oh, okay.
Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins reunited. Those two have hidden their affections well.
Okay. We got this one down. But boy, we need to heal up. There's a lead plate. Is there any other enemy in here? Bring back the wallet to its owner. Okay, so we can give the wallet back to Milton, and I don't think there are any other SKALS in here. So where are we? Here's another trash can. Prison screws. We can't open this one. Just a bench. We can enter this room. So what's in here? Have we been here? Ah, okay, it's behind the desk. So let's head back to Milton and hand him his wallet over. Where is he? There he is.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Okay. And we have unlocked the hint.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
Okay.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Okay.
Goodbye,
I think a relationship between hospital staff is quite acceptable. Other than the taking of money from patients who are in need. So if you find people... here. We should talk about it, with her.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Some personal questions. No hints. Life in London? Okay, here we only can
Pepper,
talk about the
I
relationship.
know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
True. You can't confront her about the taking of money.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Okay. Can we talk to this one?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Oh, you are? Okay. Let's talk about her life in London.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Okay.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I think we can relate to the feeling of being a vampire.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Okay. Turn into fog, please.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Might be true. Wrong target. New investigation. I think she said too often, too loud that she is a vampire. What may have get the attention from those vampire hunters we faced in an earlier episode. Oh boy, can we ask some personal questions?
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Could be
I
true.
leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Wonderful. Okay, I believe that are all we can talk to in the here down on the entrance and around the hospital on the first floor. Next time we head to the second floor, maybe we can visit Dr. Swansea up there and see what's in our office, and I hope we can heal ourselves a bit. It's quite dangerous to go out with this last life. Until then, thank you all for watching, for liking, sharing and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!